Welcome to another video from EGIS Associates. So in our last video we talked about how do you georeference a CAD file in ArcGIS Pro, meaning how do we take data that was created in AutoCAD or MicroStation or some variant thereof and put it in a real-world coordinate system, because many times that kind of data is created on, or in, I should say, an assumed coordinate system, meaning that it's not tied to the Earth's surface in any way. It's kind of arbitrarily assigned a coordinate system. And in order to use that in GIS, because a lot of data that we want to put into our GIS, whether it's parcels or utilities or roads or sidewalks or any number of things, get started in that format created by surveyors and engineers and landscape architects and so on. So to put that into GIS, we really have to have it georeferenced, and that's what we talked about in the last video. And that's great. Once we get it georeferenced, though, if we actually want to do something with it, oftentimes we need to convert it from that CAD format, that DWG or DXF or DGN file, into a GIS-friendly format like a Geo Database feature class or a shapefile or something along that line. And so that's what we'll talk about here in this video. We're going to go and see what tools are available in Pro that will allow us to take data that's in a CAD format and put it into our GIS. Okay, so we're here in Arc Pro, and there are a lot of different tools that we can use to convert data from a CAD format into a GIS format. It really depends on several factors. One, what does our GIS data look like? Two, what is it we're trying to accomplish with the CAD data? And then three, what our skill set is, or knowledge, experience, whatnot is with working within CAD files, CAD data, CAD software. All of those will be determining factors on which tool or method we want to use to convert our data back and forth. So the first tool we're going to look at is going to be found up here in our toolbox. So we can go to our Analysis tab in our ribbon and then click on Tools. This opens our Geoprocessing pane, and you'll see a conversion toolbox right here. So if we expand that out, you'll see there's a bunch of different tool sets. We can even go out to CAD, but we're not looking to go out to CAD. We're looking at coming into GIS. So we can go down here to Geo Database. And the first tool you'll see here is, whoops, clicked a little too fast on that, is the CAD to Geo Database. So we'll go ahead and click on that to open the tool. What this tool does is it's going to take the entire CAD data set, all the information that's in the CAD file, be it a DWG, a DXF, or a DGN file, and convert it into our Geo Database. It's going to create a featured data set that it's going to push all of that information into. So this tool is really good for existing GIS users that really don't understand CAD, that have never worked in AutoCAD or MicroStation, have never created a drawing file, and really don't understand the nuances of those file formats. This will put it into a format that they are comfortable with. Okay, so to use this tool, we're going to go up here to our input data set. We're going to click the Browse button over here, navigate to a folder that has our data in it. So here we have the Northern Subdivision. If you watched the last video on georeferencing, this is the CAD file we georeferenced. So I'm going to click OK to this. Notice you can't convert more than one drawing file at a time. If you have several you want to work with and convert, that's fine, you can. So this is the output database that it's going to. I'll go with the default here, but you can change it by clicking the Browse button and going that. This is my project database. And then this is the featured data set it's going to create within that database. Okay. If you're not familiar with what a feature data set is, I encourage you to go back and look at some of our oldest videos about the Geo Database, and explains all the pieces and parts and things that make up a Geo Database. But anyway, if you're not familiar with the feature data set, you'd want to go check that out. I'll make sure to include a link to those in the video description. And then lastly, we're going to choose our spatial reference. by default, it's going to pull the spatial reference that is with the drawing file. In this case, we have it because we georeferenced it previously, right? So we have that assigned coordinate system, and that's fine. I'm going to accept the default. If your CAD file was georeferenced, meaning it was created in a real-world coordinate system, meaning it comes in the right place, but it doesn't have that PRJ file, then you can manually assign a spatial reference here, assuming you know what that coordinate system is. Okay, now once we've done that, we're going to click Run. And it has now converted that CAD file into a Geo Database feature classes. You can see it added the new layers here. So if I right click on and zoom to that layer, see it's brought us in with all of the data. We have our polylines, we have points, we have polygons, all that were part of that CAD file. And again, that's the one we georeferenced in the last video. And you can see if we go to source, right, that is going to be in, I scroll down past the drawing file. Down here, you can see where it added that in. There was my project database, and there's the feature classes it created. And if I go back into the catalog window as well, here's my project database. There you can see the points. I'm sorry, there's the feature data set it created first off, and then there's the feature classes that it imported into that. So now it's in a geodatabase, and anything we can do with a geodatabase feature class, you can now do with this data, edit it, perform analysis, and so on. So the downside to that tool is it did bring in the entire drawing. Everything that was in the drawing got converted. So what happens if we only want to convert part of a drawing file? Maybe something that's in a single feature class, or maybe even a single layer. So let's talk about how to do that. Go back and zoom to the previous location I was at, because I have a different data set that I'm going to work with. Why did it not zoom me to the right location? Oh, here. I'll zoom here. Wow, it's zooming me way out. But anyway, I'll get back to where I need to be in just a moment, because no, there we go. That's where I need to be, right here. Okay, let me up a little bit and out a little bit. Okay, so I've got a subdivision that goes here. That's this CAD data here. So this is came out of a plat for this subdivision, and as you can see, it's got property lines. It has right of ways. It's got water lines and fire hydrants. It's got sewer lines and manholes. So it has a lot of good information. But what if I don't want to convert the whole drawing? Say I only need to update the water lines from here and put that into my GIS. Okay. Well, that's where we can go over here back to our geoprocessing pane. I'm going to go back to my conversion tool set, and you'll see the feature class to feature class tool. So this tool is a very universal tool because it allows you to convert various things into a feature class. So it can convert, as we're about to see, CAD data into a feature class. It can convert a shape file into a geodatabase feature class. It can convert CAD data to a shape file. It can convert a geodatabase feature class to a shape file. So it's a very versatile tool in your conversion toolbox. So one you want to pay attention to. But in this case, I want to convert the water lines that I see in the drawing into a new geodatabase feature class. So first thing I'm going to put my input features is going to be from my CAD data. So here you can see the drop down. So this is the CAD file and the waterline group. So I've got that in there. And I want to output it to a specific feature class. And I'm just going to leave, again, that default location up there and call it water lines from CAD. Okay. Now, if I wanted to further refine this, I could actually add a clause. If I had something in there that identified the size or material, I could click Add Clause and go say maybe layer, you know, again, if I had a like waterline 6-inch or waterline PVC or something like that, I could further refine this export. It doesn't have to necessarily do it all, but this would allow me to do that. I'm not going to do that, but I wanted to let you know that was available. So now I'm going to take from the waterlines CAD drawing. So if I go back over here into the contents and expand this, you'll see this is my CAD drawing. And there's a waterline layer. I can turn that on and off. You can see the blue lines turning on and off. Okay, so I'm going to export that to a new feature class in this Geo Database, right? So it's going to go to my ArcGIS Pro demo Geo Database, and the new feature class is going to be waterlines from CAD. So I click Run to that. Okay, so it ran, and now you can see it added this new feature class over here, waterlines from CAD. So I turn off those other waterlines. So this is the one we exported. Okay, turn it off, turn it on. So it's now, this is a geodatabase feature class. And again, if we go here to our source, you can see there's our ArcGIS Pro demo geodatabase, and there's the feature class. So you can see how it created that new feature class. And again, now it's in a geodatabase, anything you can do with any other type of geodatabase data, you can now do with it. Okay. Now, what happens if you really don't want everything even in a layer? What if you want to pick specific features out of the CAD file and then import them directly into one of your existing layers? So let's see how that would work. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and turn off the water lines that we just converted, and say, for example, I'm going to want to convert some of these sewer lines. I don't want all of them. I just want a couple of them. Maybe because this is we already have some of the data. It was already there, and this has been existing, and we're trying to grab the new stuff. So I'm going to only convert these two sewer lines right here into my data, into my GIS data. So a couple of things we're going to want to do here. First, I want to make sure that my CAD data is selectable. So I want to make my sewer lines in my CAD data selectable. I don't want to select anything else. And then I want to make sure that my sewer lines, if I can find them, here we go, are editable, because we're going to be editing those. So make them editable. Go back to my selection, because I like to see what's selectable. Using my Explore tool, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I get the, okay, as you see, I've zoomed in. Now I want to select the features from the CAD file that I want to convert. So I want to select this one and this one. And if I go over here, you can see that I have two features selected on that layer within my CAD data. Those are the only ones I want to convert. So I can go up here now that I have those selected, and I can go copy. So it's now copied those to my clipboard. Now with those two selected, I go up here to paste, paste special, choose the template or layer I want them to go on. So I want these to go to sewer lines, and click OK. So it's now pasted those into my sewer lines, and I can see that if I go back into the contents, go ahead and turn off the sewer line layer that's in my CAD file. And you can see there it is. It's copied those to my sewer line layer down here, which is the green layer. And again, just to show you that, turn it on and off. So that allowed me to select specific features in the CAD file and then convert those by simply copy and pasting from the CAD file into an existing layer that I have in my map. So that's another way that I can convert data inside of Arc Pro without having to do the whole thing. This really gives me a lot of flexibility in the conversion, because I can pick exactly what I want out of the CAD file to convert over into my GIS. Well, what if I don't want to, say, convert the data? What if I want to just use the data for some other purpose, maybe to edit some existing GIS data? So we'll zoom out a little bit here so I can see the subdivision better. So I want to use the existing CAD data, the parcel lines and the right-of-ways, to split out this original parent parcel. as you can see right now, as I turn off the CAD data, I'll go ahead and turn off the sewer information. This is one single parcel. If I click the Explore tool, click on it, see it's one parcel that, thanks to the AutoCAD drawing, has been subdivided, as I can see here. So I want to take and use these CAD lines to actually split out the parcel into the individual lots that it's now subdivided into. So how we do that? Well, first thing we're going to do is go in and verify which layers are editable. So we're going to make sure our parcels layer is editable. That's good. Notice all the exclamation points out here to the right of these various layers in my map. Anytime you see that, these are non-editable layers. And if you hover over it, you'll see it says it's a non-editable data type. And that's because this is CAD data. You cannot edit CAD data inside of ArcGIS Pro. We can convert it, as we've been doing, but we can't natively edit. That's all this means. You'll also see down here the world imagery is not editable because that's a tiled service layer. So web map service coming in. So another non-editable format. So anyway, again, we just made our parcels the only editable layer. That's all we really want to be editing at this time. Now, I also want to go ahead and simplify and turn off all of these other layers in the drawing file that I don't want to mess with. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off, say, the annotation. I don't need to see the sewer line manholes, the fire hydrants. Already got the points turned off so they're not visible. So all we see is the parcel lines and the right-of-way. You don't have to do this. This just makes it a whole lot cleaner to work with. So I'm going to go to my list by selection tab here, and I want to set the CAD parcels and right-of-way layers as the only editable, the only selectable data in there at the moment. I want to turn off all these others so I don't accidentally select some other things that I don't want to do, just for safety's sake, good best practice. Okay. So what I want to do next is go to my edit tab and select my split tool, because what we want to do is split the parent parcel into its individual parts based on the new plat. So that's splitting. So we want to go to the split tool over here in the modify features pane, and we're going to do by feature. So this is a new function that was added in ArcGIS Pro either 2.2 or 2.1. Anyway, somewhere around that time frame there. So the first thing we're going to do is our input features. So this is what we're going to use to split. So in this case, it's going to be the CAD data. So we're going to go and click the select one or more tools here and just kind of draw a window around all the features that we want to use to split. Let's see, we got them. We're going to hold our shift key down to select the ones that we missed here so we get all the parts selected we want to. Whoops, missed this one up here, so get that one real quick. That one to be missing. I think we've got them all. Now that I have the input feature selected, now we need to set our target. This is going to be the actual feature that we want to split. So we're going to go down and make sure the parcels are selectable. And go up here, select one or more features, and select the parcel. Now you'll notice it is cross-hatched here, showing that is the target, and that's the one we want. And now with it, we're going to hit the split button. It has run the tool. You can see we now have 109 parcels selected. And if we go back and we go ahead and clear our selection and we turn off our CAD data so it's not visible. Got to actually go here to turn it off. You can see now that these are individual parcels. So I took the CAD data as CAD data, didn't even have to convert it, and was able to use it to split out this this parent parcel into all these individual lots that were identified in the CAD drawing. And they weren't even polygons, they were individual lines that trimmed those out. So you can see that this is another powerful way that we can use CAD data. Didn't even have to convert it. We can do that. Now, other things you can do with CAD data, you don't have to necessarily convert it. If you're just using this as background information, you can pretty much do anything with CAD data from a visualization standpoint that you can do with any other data. So if I wanted to go in here, I'm going to turn this back on. I'll turn off my parcels for the moment and say I want to change, the appearance. I want to apply a transparency to it. I can do that. I want to change the symbology so that instead of having individual, groups here, I can control how we do crossings at that point. Go to individual layers and change the symbology for it. If I don't want the yellow-ish, goldish, whatever color you want to call that, parcel lines, I want to make them gray, just like I can a normal layer in there. I can change the symbology. You can also label it, right? So if you have data in there that you want to label, there we go. So I want to label each line based off of some information in there. Maybe it's got a depth or some other type of information, the color, I don't know, whatever. You can do that and label them based off that, or the length or the elevation, the layer that it was on, right? You can do that. So that doesn't even require conversion. That's just using the CAD data as it is. Again, if you're just using it for backdrop information, kind of base or contextual information, then maybe you don't have to convert it. But if you do want to use it in your GIS to update existing layers, to create new data or whatnot, you now know some of the tools that are available to you in ArcGIS Pro for running those types of conversions. And don't forget, as I mentioned, you can also go out to CAD. So there are tools. We'll maybe cover that in a later video if you'd like to see how to export GIS data out to AutoCAD or MicroStation or whatnot, some considerations. Please let us know in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in seeing, and maybe we can make a video on that. Well, there you have it. You now know some of the tools for converting CAD data into GIS within ArcGIS Pro. I hope this has been helpful to you. Taught you some skills and some tools you may not have noticed in the past or been aware of. Again, this builds on what we learned in the last video about how to georeference CAD data inside of ArcGIS Pro. So if you need any help, remember we are here. If you need help implementing, there we go, an enterprise GIS, we can give you a hand with that. If you're trying to integrate with, say, a work order management system, utility billing, those kind of things, we can help you do that. If you're trying to figure out how you're going to move to the next level with your GIS, do you need to get ArcGIS Enterprise, or maybe you're trying to figure out how to migrate to ArcGIS Pro, we can help you do that with a strategic plan or a needs assessment, what we call a geospatial roadmap. Maybe you're getting started on a new project and you need some staffing assistance, maybe either on site or remotely. We can help you do that too. Of course, if you need some training or support on your system, we were just named an ArcGIS Online and Release Ready specialty partner by Esri. That's in addition to being a silver Esri business partner. And of course, we have a bunch of certifications from CompTIA, from Esri, from Microsoft, Camtasia, and so on. So again, we can help you out with training and support in those lines. So feel free to reach out to us. Website is www.egisassociates.com. You can give us a call at 678-710-9710 or shoot us an email at info@egisassociates.com. Remember, if you like the video, please subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell so you get notifications anytime we post an update to the channel. Leave comments, let us know what you're thinking. If there's other videos you want to see, if you have some experiences about what we're talking about that you'd like to share with the rest of the channel members, please do so. We're up to over 1,600 subscribers now, so very close to the 2,000 that we're shooting for on our contest, so don't forget about that. We do have a contest running, so till we hit 2,000 subscribers, anybody that subscribes to the channel and leaves comments has a chance to win some prizes. We're actually going to be, I think, adding some new prizes to that as well, because we're going better than we expected. So we might even ramp some of those up to maybe spur some more growth. But watch for a new video on that sometime very soon. And if you want to be one of the cool kids, make sure to check out our merchandise store. You can pick up your ArcGIS Associates merchandise, t-shirts, mouse pads, hoodies, things of that nature. So with that, hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next video.